Welcome to my day in the life at the Dirty Detour 2023. This day in the life starts the day before, where we drove to Dungog, which is about 3 hours from the south of Sydney, and we're pounding 3 times in the car, which is non-alcoholic beer. Dungog is our comm for the night, and the guys are getting pizza for dinner. It's about 8:30 p.m. at this point. I am a diabetic type 1, and if I eat this late and this much food, and my blood sugars that is, are going to go high all through the night, which is just not great. So I actually had a box of lentils and veg in the car. It's a bit pretty boring, but I just did me. I did cop some crap from it. Bikes always go in the room, because if we left them on the car, then they may not be there in the morning. The Dungog Hotel was actually a repurposed hospital, so there's some odd things like there's sinks in the room and there's shared bathrooms, which is super eerie. And then Mason Troy went down for a beer. I just came down for the company, and this is the locals just turning it on karaoke night. And we're trying to get some rest because it's getting close to 10, but the karaoke is pumping downstairs, so yeah. Fast and loose, first coffee of the day. Have a look at this continental breakfast. Weet-Bix, cornflakes, white bread. John just let one go and I heard it.
Cornflakes with a bit of sugar on top. It's so nostalgic. I'm thinking about riding to the start line with John. It's 28 Ks. Still thinking about it.
I don't know what I was thinking. It's 1 degree outside and John has 7 efforts to do, a bunch of 30 seconders and I think a 2-minuter. Like, seriously, Chris, John is a giant factory rider. I'm just an average dude. Yeah, I'm gonna get slaughtered before the event even begins. If you are ever curious on how much PSI John runs in his gravel tires, well, now you know.
41.
We were looking forward to this bakery for breakfast from yesterday afternoon. We were talking about it. We made sure that we're open so that we could get there in time in the morning. And when we walked in, it was a massive letdown. They only had pie sausage rolls, custard tarts, like apple turnovers, and loaves of bread.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what we were expecting, but a pastry would have been nice. A croissant, something a bit lighter than a pie or a sausage roll. But yeah, we just got a coffee and I had an up and go and a couple biscuits, which they hit the spot. John had his like power cookies or something. So we made do. And then Troy and Mace, they had sausage rolls and pies because that's their thing. They weren't riding 28 Ks and doing efforts. My hands were freezing. I only brought fingerless gloves, but boy oh boy, they were cold.
Not bad. A bit cold on the fingers.
But why not run full-fingered gloves, Chris? Well, the main reason I run fingerless gloves is so I can record and video things easier. Buttons and touchscreens just work better with fingerless gloves. I've said it before, I'll say it again, but the only real way to get footage of yourself riding is to just give your camera to other people. It's so much quicker than setting the camera up and then going riding away from it. This section of road and piece of footage was my favorite of the entire day. The light spilling through the trees, just the dust that had just lifted. There were some people riding like us. It just was magic. It felt like we're on a movie set. Microwaves for mailboxes, I love it. Mainly because I never see it in the city.
Aloha from River Downs, site of the Dirty Detour. That's it. Feels like I'm in F1 and I'm just like rolling through the paddock right now.
We made it. I think it's about 8:35 here, and the ride starts at 8:45. Troy and Mace having a bit of a chuckle, probably because they thought I wouldn't make it, but I did. May have overcooked myself along the way, but I'm here. At Rego, all they wanted to see was your insurance, and the internet wasn't great, so I couldn't load mine that well, but we got there in the end.
How'd you go, mate?
Good, yeah. I found it right as I stepped out of the line, which is kind of a bummer. And I'll start in a couple minutes.
Oh, that's all good. What was the surname?
Visvis. V-I-S-V-I-S.
Feel free to go get that straight on your bike. You can grab that and I'll sort the rest of it out for you.
Sure.
Just missed the start, but we're on.
Even though we missed the main rollout of the bunch, it was a neutral start, which means there's a car driving ahead of that main bunch. slowing people up and stopping people from doing silly things like racing off and creating an unsafe environment. We had to stop because Troy's seat post was slipping, so we waited for him, and then after seeing all the riders pass us, I don't know, something clicked, and then we all of a sudden just started riding fast. This is where I really appreciated doing the efforts or just the warm-up ride for 30Ks before the actual event, because when the pace picked up initially, I could respond. My legs were warm, my body was warm. The intensity just came naturally. Whereas like Troy and some of the others, they had really high heart rates. This guy here was obviously a road rider, but he was pushing on, and you know, instinct kicks in and we got to chase him down because it's just what we do. We didn't mean to. No one had to say to do it. We just did it. Watch the gap that John gets by just riding around this water crossing. That is just pure experience and just on the fly intuition right there. I love these moments in gravel rides where everyone's kind of fresh, we're just getting warm, the morning light looks awesome through the trees, the pace is starting to pick up, but you can respond. It's good times. Call me soft, but I didn't want wet socks riding through this river, so I went real slow and a bunch of people passed me. Just shows that you can just lose a bunch of time so easily by taking a different line on a gravel bike. This part here was just a reminder that we're riding through private property. There are people like conducting business on a Saturday as per normal, and we're just a bunch of bike riders riding through their property, probably interrupting their day.
Yeah.
It's pretty novel riding behind a tractor, but let me tell you, your eyes fill with grit pretty quick. Would not recommend.
What they call a tractor in the wild.
We're almost at the second turnaround and the fatigue is kind of settling in. I got dropped towards the top of this first climb, and it wasn't just John that dropped me, so I'm currently in third place, and it kind of hurt my ego a little bit. John waited up for me at the top of the hill, and the Ready Aim Media photographer took some shots of us at the top of the hill, which is nice. This is the first feed stop, and it's coming out 74 Ks for us and about 45 Ks for everybody else. I'll let you be the judge of the snacks, but they had cookies, killer pythons, some fruit, and some electrolyte like Powerade and Staminade for the drinks. I love this spread, but I also do appreciate a little bit of sports nutrition as well, so you can put in your pockets to go. Definitely not required, but I've grown used to that luxury from other events like Goodness Gravel. This guy here with a European accent and the backpack, he's the guy that beat me on that climb. A guy with a backpack beat me. I mean, that just obliterates your ego.
I think we're about halfway now.
So did we come back here, or is there?
No, it's a loop from here.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's a loop.
Yeah, so you've done the 2 legs out and back.
Alright, so the biggest climb of the day is starting in about 5Ks. And this is where the wheels really started to fall off. It got hot, I started cramping, and a bunch of guys passed me. Fatigue really set in. Even on the descent, this descent was wild. It was super fun, but it was long enough that my shoulders, chest, and forearms were all starting to get really tight and really fatigued just from the length of the descent. And it was bumpy in places too. My chain actually fell off, so I had to stop and put it back on, but I was grateful for that little stop because it just gave me a chance to recoup. I felt totally broken at the bottom of this descent. It was the worst I felt the entire day.
Oh, seriously cramping. Oh, couldn't keep up on the hill. Oh, ouch. That was tough. So I lost all my lollies and a GoPro battery because of that on that descent. I had to stop because I dropped my chain, but man, it was a serious descent. My arms and chest killing me. I think I've gone too deep and it's getting hot. I haven't drank enough because every time I go to grab the GoPro out of my mouth, my biceps or my forearms are cramping at the same time. It's pretty funny. There's another speed stop coming up. Cramp remedy, hopefully. How's your day?
Pretty busy.
Fresh packet. Oh man, I'm getting my grubby fingers all in there.
Take as many as you need, man.
Should be about right. That should be about right for 30Ks.
I honestly felt like a new man after that stop. The salty chips, some food, some water. I filled my top tube bag full of snakes again, and off we go. We're on the final straight. You got to remember, I did this stretch of road this morning on the way to the event, and it definitely looks way better in the morning. It was nice having done this stretch of road before because I knew exactly what to expect on the way home. It did feel tougher this time around though.
Australia. Camry, house, garage. I'm on the final climb. About 2/3 of the way up. And I'm riding on my limit, which is as fast as I can ride without cramping. Really heated up now. Oh, I can feel them coming on. I think it's because I'm not used to riding this bike. Oh, sounds weird, but the pedal stroke's a little bit different. So when you get to put the power down hour after hour, it just doesn't sit right. Yeah, 20Ks left. Hey.
We're on the final descent of the day at this point, and all the riders coming up the hill I think are doing the shorter distances like the 50k event, and the change of music is purely from the actual event. I just set my phone up next to the DJ booth, and this is the music that was actually playing there. I have done 118Ks in about 4.5 hours, and that sort of time and distance felt about right for me. So if I only did 90 and didn't do the warm-up Ks, I think the ride would have felt a little bit short. What do you think? Do you think 90Ks is long enough? By the way, I am such a salty sweater. Look at the salt stains on my jersey. It happens every time. There happened to be a river right next to where we parked, so we thought we'd go in for a little dip. I must admit, it wasn't my idea, it was John's idea, flushing the legs out in the cold water, and it was cold.
Whoa. Oh, it is cold. Yeah. Oh. Oh man. I've never done an ice bath, but I think this is what an ice bath would feel like. Yeah.
We decided to do a little debrief of our day at the event as it happened, whatever was just on our mind, and that's the next 4 minutes.
The day's gone quick for me because I felt like I was in the box the whole day.
I thought that the ride out actually was the longest hour of riding. Like while the event was on, it was actually really short because there was lots of people and it's kind of cool, and it wasn't like full race pace, but it wasn't slow. Like people had a little bit of a chop, but it's also like climby enough, but not too climby.
It really wasn't too climby.
There's only that one bit that was steep that I thought that the casual folk may not enjoy so much, but other than that, I thought it was beautiful.
The first climb that like distance you like
20, no, the one Trevor Tops Road.
Yeah.
Where you turned off the main fire road.
Yeah. We rode from Dungog to the event, which was about just under 30Ks, and that route had some of the course in it, the final bit of the course in it. So it had
final 20 probably.
Yeah. So it had the second biggest climb and just a couple more undulating things.
But it's mostly downhill, I would say.
Yeah,
the last 10Ks is mostly downhill, which is nice.
But you did efforts in that time. It
on the way out. On the way out, I did.
Yeah, did effort. Like it was 7 30-seconder or 1 2-minute in there efforts. The ride felt less racy than a Goodness Gravel.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it was good in that it was probably even more relaxed. They should make it mandatory, like for the faster guys, to start at the back so you meander through the crew.
Yeah, builds up everyone's like motivation.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. There's such a variance of people and bikes out there, like dudes with crazy wide drop bars
and baggies.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go and put my jorts on and feel at home with the people here.
There was less boxes checked than say Goodness Gravel. Like Goodness Gravel will have like a bit more commentating or have some music playing, like at the feed stops there'll be music playing, a bit more variety at the feed stops, there'll be like more nutrition, so you can go for like the snakes or the Tim Tams or the cookies or the chips at the feed stop. But they also had SIS.
No, but I like this in that it feels country. Like we're in the country, and it feels like they're country people that have organised the event, and that's really nice. I think that they're not roads that anyone's realistically done very much before. There's a couple of out and backs on the course which didn't know how they would sort of feel when you're doing it, but it actually worked out really good, I think.
Yeah, I didn't get like bored of the out and back, because on other courses I've done like Barrel Classic, which is just a road ride, totally different ride, but they do out and backs, and I just got bored. You're just sitting there, bored. But there's enough like variance in the terrain and like rainforest sections that you go through that it keeps you going, and it's interesting. And it's only like a 10k out and back. It's not like over an hour or anything like that. It's,
I thought the extreme descent was quite good as well. It wasn't too bad. It's like plenty of you can see a long way in the front as well, so it's quite safe for everyone too.
It was good. Tough descent though. Like my arms were, because it was after the climb, so my arms were cramping. I felt like a chest workout.
My arms are massively stacked, so it's okay. I was fine.
Yeah. Oh man. Don't leave your top tube bag open, otherwise you'll lose your GoPro batteries and lollies and whatnot, like me. The feed stop was right after that descent, the last one. So I liked how they had
good timing.
Yeah,
good
real
timing
good
for
timing.
a feed zone. I raced a cow before that as well. That was quite fun.
The Smith's chips actually were great because I was cramping.
Yeah, salty chips are lovely.
It was way better than I was expecting. I did not expect to enjoy those chips that much.
I think this has gone on for long enough.
No,
we need to get up to
needs to be longer.
We need to get up to the beer, and there's pizza, and there's Sanger sandwiches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we need to get to that, I think.
Cool. Catch ya.
As we finished our debrief, the others rolled in, and we're ready for some non-alcoholic beers and then some alcoholic beers and some food. Troy is committed to this hydration pack like Keegan Swenson. He even took the bottle cages off his bike. I love it. His bike looks so clean without bottle cages.
This hydration pack. It's good. It's clean as.
The atmosphere at the event finish line was just right, I'd say. They had some jazzy, upbeat music, and the token for a free beer and a sausage sambo, it just goes such a long way into feeling like a human again after riding hard for a good couple of hours.
Smoked porter, IPA, cider.
Oh man, I haven't had a smoked porter in ages. I'll do one of those.
I took the drone up, got some cool drone shots, and we kind of just chilled out and then moseyed on home after about an hour of just socializing and talking to other people. There was some really cool gravel setups. Like this one guy had a full like motorbike of an e-bike, huge electric motor. It lasted the entirety of the event. He came motoring past people we heard. It was really good. I definitely recommend this event. Definitely enough organization and good times. Also, Josh Kwan made an event video just like this, probably a little bit more engaging, but I didn't get to say hi to him at this event because I think they had some adversity. They had a bit of a crash. So I hope everyone's all right and they're all recovered, but I look forward to actually hanging out and maybe doing a collab one day. Catch ya.